Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we try to make sense of the complex world of big business filings, the ones that could make or break your favorite companies. And today we are diving into Corning Incorporated's 2025 annual report with over 170 years of history. It is a company whose inventions have shaped how we communicate, how we see the world, and how we even discover new med. Ison, so what have they been up to in 2025? Let's decode this report and find out before we dive in if you appreciate getting straight insights from corporate documents. Hitting that subscribe button is a great way to support us, and we've also got a growing community Discord channel linked in the description below if you want to chat with us and other viewers about these filings. Alright, so Corning Incorporated is a big player in materials science. They're talking about their expertise in glass, ceramic, and optical physics, and how that makes them vital to progress. Corning is a company that really prides itself on innovation. They've been around since 1851, and they're constantly looking for ways to transform industries and make life better. Their business is spread across 5 main areas. Optical communications display specialty materials, automotive and life sciences, and they also have this group called Hemlock and emerging growth businesses, which sounds pretty cool. Now, their optical communications segment is a huge part of their business, like 38% of their sales in 2025. This is all about the wires and cables that power our internet and phone networks. As we use more video and as artificial intelligence or AI grows, there is a massive demand for faster and more reliable fiber optic solutions. Corning invented LOW. Lost optical fiber way back in 1970, and they're still leading the charge with products like their SMF28E contour fiber, designed for super dense data centers. Because of AI and all the data it needs, these guys make the backbone of our digital world. Then there is the display segment, making the glass for our screens for TVs, laptops, tablets, and phones. They invented this special fusion manufacturing process, which sounds pretty high tech. It allows them to make glass that is larger, thinner, and has a perfect surface quality, essential for those high resolution displays. We all love they're a world leader here, and their Eagle XG Slim Glass is used in billions of square feet of displays worldwide, so pretty much everywhere you look, you are probably seeing Corning's display glass. Specialty materials is where things like that super tough Corning Gorilla Glass for your phone and tablets come from. They also make precision optics for semiconductor equipment and even materials for aerospace and defense. That is a pretty diverse area for them, with products like Gorilla Glass Victus 2. They're pushing the boundaries of durability for our everyday tech. In the automotive segment, they're making ceramic substrates for emissions control in cars and trucks. This is about making vehicles cleaner and more energy efficient. They also make technical glass for car interiors and exteriors, and they've got these autograde Gorilla Glass solutions that sound like they're making car windows and displays much better and lighter. The life sciences segment focuses on lab products for researchers and drug manufacturers. They provide tools for discovering new medicines, accelerating drug delivery, and even manufacturing vaccines, and these cutting edge cell and gene therapies. Their Falcon, Pyrex, and Accession brands are staples in labs worldwide, helping scientists fight diseases and develop new treatments. And finally, Hemlock and emerging growth businesses. This is where they include things like Hemlock Semiconductor Group, which is a big deal in making high purity polysilicon for solar panels. And electronics, so think solar power and computer chips. This segment is also about their emerging innovations and other investments. Now let's talk about the risks, because no company is without them. Corning points out several big ones. Inflation is a major concern because it drives up costs for raw materials, utilities, and labor. If they can't pass those costs on to their customers through higher prices, they could see their profits shrink, and if they do raise prices, customers might just stop buying, which would also hurt their business. Supply chain disruptions are another huge headache, especially with global demand and limited supplies. They might not be able to get the materials they need when they need them. This could lead to delays or missed customer orders, which is never good for business. They also mention the lingering impact of health crises like pandemics on the economy, supply chains, and even financial markets. These events can lead to shutdowns, travel restrictions, and all sorts of disruptions that affect their workforce, their suppliers, and their customers. The uncertainty around these events is a big risk for them. Their optical communications and display businesses are really important for making money and generating cash flow. So if prices drop or they lose customers or market share in these areas, it could seriously hurt their overall financial health. The optical communications part faces pressure from the ups and downs in how much telecom companies and data centers spend on infrastructure. Display glass is also sensitive to currency swings, especially the Japanese yen. Here is a really important point. Corning relies heavily on a few key customers in each of its business segments. If one of those big customers decides to stop buying from them or goes out of business, it could mean a big drop in sales and cash flow. They're basically putting a lot of their eggs in a few very large baskets. Let's look at the financials and see how they're doing for 2025. Corning reported net sales of over $15 billion, which is a 19% jump from 2024. That is a pretty significant increase. Their gross margin also saw a healthy boost, going up by 31% and reaching almost $5.7 billion. The really good news is their income before taxes more than doubled from 2024 to over $2 billion. Their effective tax rate also improved significantly, showing they're managing their tax obligations more efficiently. Their core net sales, which strips out some special items, also went up by 13% to over $16 billion, and their core net income jumped by 29% to nearly $2.2 billion. This means their day-to-day business is performing really well. Their core earnings per S-hair also increased by a solid 29%. Looking at the segments, optical communications was the star of the show. Net sales in this area shot up by 35% to over $6.2 billion. This is thanks to strong demand for their products used in AI applications and for building out faster internet connections. This is clearly a growth engine for them. The display segment, however, saw a dip in net sales by 5%. This seems to be related to currency exchange rates, with the Japanese yen impacting their results. They did implement price increases to help offset this and managed to keep volumes relatively stable, showing some resilience. Specialty materials did well with a 10% increase in net sales, driven by strong demand for that Gorilla Glass. We talked about this, shows that consumer electronics products are still in high demand. The automotive segment experienced a slight decrease in net sales by 3%. This was mainly due to a weaker heavy-duty diesel market and some unfavorable currency movements. It seems like a bit of a mixed bag there. Hemlock and emerging growth businesses saw a massive 33% increase in net sales. This is largely thanks to higher demand for polysilicon and solar modules, showing the solar industry is booming and Corning is benefiting. Now, when we look at core net income, Corning is showing serious improvement. Optical communications saw a 71% surge in net income, thanks to those higher sales. Specialty materials also had a great year with a 41% jump in net income, indicating strong profitability from their specialized products. Unfortunately, Hemlock and emerging growth businesses had a significant drop in net income. This is because they had to ramp up capacity to produce more polysilicon, which temporarily increased their costs. So while sales are up, profits took a hit there for now. Their working capital stands at over $3.3 billion, which is a healthy increase from the previous year. Their current ratio is 1.6 to 1. Meaning they have $1.6 in current assets for every $1 in current liabilities, indicating good short-term financial health. Their total debt to total capital ratio is 41%, which is a moderate level, showing they are using some debt, but it does not appear to be excessive, and importantly, their liquidity is strong with over $1.5 billion in cash and cash equivalents, plus access to a $1.5 billion credit facility. They seem well funded for the future. Now, for some analysis, Corning is clearly on an upward trajectory. Their springboard plan, aimed at growing sales and improving profitability, has apparently been a huge success, achieving their targets a full year ahead of schedule. That is really impressive. Optical communications and specialty materials are strong growth drivers, especially with the demand from AI and Premi. Electronics, the acquisition of the solar module manufacturing facility, also looks like a strategic move to capture more of the booming solar market. However, there are still risks to watch. The concentration of customers is a serious concern, and any loss there would be very painful. Inflationary pressures and supply chain disruptions remain ongoing challenges, and while the display segment is showing resilience, currency fluctuations are always a potential headwind. Overall, Corning Incorporated appears to be in a solid position. Their financial performance in 2025 is strong, driven by key strategic segments and successful execution of their growth initiatives. They are navigating a complex global landscape effectively by focusing on innovation and cost management. While risks remain, the company's ability to adapt and innovate gives me confidence in their future direction. But what do you think? Are you impressed by Corning's performance, or do you see red flags hiding in the numbers? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you found value in this analysis, please smash that like button and subscribe for more corporate deep dives, and don't forget to join our Discord community, linked in the description, to continue the conversation. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode of Corporate Decoder.